She was already gone by the time I got back from the vending machine, just a lukewarm bottle of apple juice and a half-crushed pack of gum in my hand. That's all I had to show for stepping away for 10 minutes. No note. No goodbye. No forwarding number. No wife. No baby. Only the cold scent of antiseptic still hanging in the air and the soft, eerie creak of the rocking chair where she'd been nursing our daughter barely 20 minutes earlier. I stood there, frozen in the sterile silence of that hospital room, my mind clawing for an explanation that refused to come. It was a puzzle with no edges, no pieces that fit. I kept waiting for her to walk back in, maybe laughing, maybe crying, saying it was a misunderstanding, a moment of panic. But she never did. A nurse walked in shortly after, offering me one of those practice smiles and a clipboard. I asked her, "Where's my wife?" Her smile faltered. She blinked, hesitated, and said she'd go check. But no one had seen her leave. Not a single nurse or doctor questioned a woman walking out with a newborn. She'd vanished in plain sight, cloaked in exhaustion and post-birth chaos. I didn't sleep that night. Truthfully, I didn't sleep for a long time after that. I kept listening for footsteps that never came, watching the door like it might swing open and undo everything. But it never did. I called every number in her phone. Her sister, her friends, her mother. None of them answered, or if they did, their silence was louder than their words. I even filed a missing persons report. The officer barely hid his skepticism. "Are you sure she didn't just leave you?" he asked. "Yeah. She left. Took our child and disappeared into whatever darkness had been growing behind her eyes for months. And the thing is, I should have seen it coming. The way she looked at her pregnant belly, not with wonder or love, but like it was a chain. I thought it was nerves. Maybe the early sting of postpartum depression. But I was wrong. There were signs. The distant smiles, the mechanical affection, the sudden interest in our bank accounts, the way she kept bringing up my salary after we learned it was a girl. Months passed. The silence in our home grew louder. I stopped cooking for 2. Took down the crib. Packed the toys and clothes into boxes and shoved them into the attic like burying pieces of a life I never really had. Somewhere in the ache of grief, disbelief began to fade, and clarity crept in. She didn't run. She planned it. And then, almost 5 months later, a court summons landed on my doorstep. She was suing for child support. She walked into that courtroom like someone who had been rehearsing her entrance. Pale and delicate, dressed for sympathy, wearing that old perfume that used to mean something but now just smelled like manipulation. She didn't even look at me as she sat across the aisle. Her lawyer leaned in, whispered something that made her lips curl into a smile that used to belong to someone I loved. Her attorney went first. Painted me as the villain. Said I had walked out after the baby was born, that she had been struggling on her own, doing her best. The courtroom listened. I clenched the edge of the table to keep from interrupting. When she took the stand, her voice was calm, empty of shame. "I don't have a job," she said with a shrug. "So I won't stop taking from him. He can afford it. Why should I work when he's stupid enough to keep earning?" Some people laughed. Even the judge raised a brow. She smiled wider, like this was all some performance and she was nailing her lines. That was her mistake. I stood up. Slow. Come. My heart was roaring but my voice didn't shake. "Your Honor," I said, "before any ruling is made, I have something to submit." I pulled out a folder from my bag, thick, official, and heavy with the weight of truth. "This is a certified DNA test," I explained. "I ordered it after she left the hospital without informing anyone. I had to go through court channels just to get access to a sample since she wouldn't return my calls." The judge took the file, opened it, flipped through each page with the slow, surgical precision of someone who knew the truth was about to sting. When he finally looked up, his voice was steady. "The results confirm with 99.9% certainty, the child is not biologically yours." Silence. She bolted up from her chair. "He's lying. That test is fake. He's trying to get out of paying me." Her voice cracked with panic, but the judge raised a hand. "This lab is court approved. These are legitimate results. And since you knowingly misrepresented the child's paternity in a sworn affidavit, you've committed perjury." She tried to argue, but the words tangled in her throat. Her lawyer looked like he was swallowing glass. The judge leaned back in his seat, voice flat and final. "This court dismisses all claims for child support. Furthermore, I'm referring this case for criminal review regarding fraudulent claims and perjury." She sank into her seat like something had deflated inside her. I didn't gloat. Didn't even look her way. I felt nothing but tired. I walked out into the cold sunlight of the courthouse parking lot. The wind bit through my coat, but for the first time in what felt like forever, I could breathe without feeling hunted. I didn't win, not really. I lost the child I thought was mine. I lost months of sleep, of peace, of love I had reserved for a family that didn't exist. But I walked out that door alone, not because I was left behind, but because I chose to walk away from a lie. And sometimes that's the only justice you get. Some people drain you. Some people leave you. And some people try to destroy you from the inside out. But the moment you stop bleeding for them, that's the moment you start healing.